Okay, I'm here. Sorry about all that. Oh my goodness, though, I have a mess of wires next to me. Well, this is my first time chatting. Welcome in, Painted Clovers. Thank you for joining us. Now, one thing I realized that I should probably pull up is my drawing the Pokemon window. Because that is something I don't have currently set up. But anyway, hi, I'm here. We are playing the Pokemon... Oh shit, the alert was probably not correct. At least I think the category is right, but the alert probably wasn't. Ugh. My voice jump scare. Scary. And I am not on the commission grind. If that were not evident. Gold Artlocke. Gonna just put that there. Baby, the title. Don't worry, I got it. Hee hee. Anyway, I figure we can switch over to the Nuzlocke for now. I'm here. Oh, my mic is turned away from me too. Weird. Okay. Oh, it's fixed? Don't worry, I just fixed it. Hey, Harbor. Anyway, a lot has happened. Oh god, I guess I also should update. Look at that big baby! Yeah! Guys, you have no idea the grinds that the last 2 weeks has been to get this team ready for Morty. Those icons down below are not even accurate anymore. Sisyphus rolled it to the top, yep, and merged with the stone. We've been strategizing, we've been preparing. I did not stream this, Oh, also, to Gemage, the reason that the emote didn't work, I updated the emote titles. It's not 4Leaf 7 anymore, it's now just 4Leaf. I figured out how to do that. So much got done this week, last few days. But don't worry. Did you message Twitch about that? Actually, no. There was a built-in way to do it. It was pretty easy. I just had to go to my emotes page, because I checked it basically right after stream, after someone had mentioned it. And I was like, let's see if we can get that fixed. And it was really not hard. An Umbreon, yes! We also have a new team member who I caught and trained up, whose name is Ducky. We have all of these guys are now level 25, with the exception of Polar, who I was training a little bit. Honestly, I might keep training Polar. Harry Dubois is now at the level that she needed to be. What the fuck? Hi, Ducky! So we have a lot of guys to draw. And honestly, on the side of drawing, I might continue doing the Nuzlocke just to train Polar. But that means that we need to open up the art file in the time being. So happy to see Sisyphus. Yeah, he's doing well. Alright, let's see. There's the art, the Pokemon art canvas. But anyway, yeah, lots to do tonight. Wow. I don't think that Polar should fight this guy, though. Ducky, yay! Yeah! Are you gonna be training quietly while drawing? I am. Actually, let me turn the volume of this down and grab some music so that we can listen to something a little nicer while I'm drawing. What's this new reward? I wasn't here last time. Basically, it is like a little way for you to just get a daily collectible. It's just for fun. There's nothing too serious about it, but my boyfriend implemented it. He really thought it'd be fun, and I agree. I think it's cute. Let's just turn this down a little bit. There we go. Let's headbutt and listen to some calming music. Oh, this is so quiet. Can you guys hear the music? Is it too quiet? Let me turn this all the way down. There we go. A bit quiet? Alright, let's turn that up. A little better? Cannot hear the music at all? Oh, yeah. Alright. Coming and leaving. Alright, and then I can also should be able to... switch over to drawing. Yippee! Okay, I can switch over. So, we have some guys to draw. We absolutely have some guys to draw tonight. Another thing I'm going to try and do... Ugh. Oh, that mucks it up. Maybe I won't be training on the side then. That's alright. Date the naming pin soon. Making chicken burger, no worries. But, I will, I'll be drawing the new guys. So, obviously first we have to draw Ducky. Although I think maybe in order is to draw Sisyphus's evolution. Hello. Oh, you're just coming in here to join me?
I realized you could hear the air filter.
Ah, thank you. And this gotta be a little bit bigger. I think we were using like a 20 brush for it. I saw this on Toy House. They're so funny to me. I love them. I think that they're very silly. I was taking a note of all the emojis that I'm gonna have to make because I use a lot of different emojis on Discord, and I want to have critter replacements for everything I could use. Oh, Master, thank you for the resub. Wait, did I miss another sub? Hold on. Oh my god, Tanuki, I totally miss you resub. Thank you so much. I'm saving my sub for Artlocke. Alright, well, so wait. I'll write that down on a new layer so I don't forget. Got Tanuki and Master. What if Sisyphus carved the stone into a pair of gravestones? Our fallen brethren. That'd be actually kind of dope. Kind of like... Hey, new here, welcome in. I'm Jucario. I totally missed your message from before. Sorry I was getting set up and missed some people's chats. But welcome in. I hope you enjoyed the Artlocke. Currently, we're just working on drawing the new Pokemon. Have there been any new dogs caught? No dogs, but I did catch a Farfetch'd, which I was very excited by, and trained her up. Her name's Ducky. No one's died off stream, thank God. I train in pretty safe areas when I am off stream. I would hate to have a death off stream. That'd be kind of terrible. But if you weren't here last week, we did have 2 Pokemon die. Or I guess it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago now. And that's why I took a week off, because I was like, I need to train. Like, I don't want to lose anyone else. Velvet and Franz, yeah. Hello. Also, hello, Golden Gills. I also, for the people that are coming in now, I just wanted you to know, I updated my little emoji handle, so now it's just 4leaf instead of 4Lee7. Farfetch'd kind of a dog. If you close your eyes, I agree with this. Velvet died. My Yuri. We were joking how it was gonna be Whoop-Ass and Pig-A, but like happy, like they were gonna survive, and then Velvet dies. It literally was just alternate universe. They will lose each other in every universe, which is just so sad. 5 minutes too late. Farfetch'd is a dog. It's okay. Never too late. Ducky's leak is like a dog bone. This is so true. I just love... No, don't do that. I love Farfetch'd little leak. I think it's so cute. Doomed Yuri. Why was she out of the box? I actually had fully trained and evolved her into Eradicate, and she was going to be used for Morty, but then I was fighting my rival, and during the rival fight she died because of curse. Like, ghastly curse. And confusion. It was so awful. And mean look. Sorry, It was confusion, mean look, and then curse, which is just such a terrible combo to get. I like this gay dog you're drawing. Thank you, Hemlock's Grove. Too ghastly. Dimple's fuck-ass family. You know, the only Pokemon I didn't train off screen was Dimple, which is kind of funny. Also, I just realized, does Umbreon not have little circles on its front legs? I thought it did. I'm looking at a picture of it I have on my wall, and I'm like, does it not? Sisyphus has been clocked as gay. It does? Okay. Maybe it's just the piece that I have doesn't show it. And then I'm gonna make these go away just so that I can see a little better. Sisyphus gives me NBA Ace vibes. I love that everyone, all of the Pokemon are just like queer. I'm not even. I was gonna say this is being democratically decided that the Pokemon are queer. I also got a drawing tablet. Oh, that's awesome, Pansy Clovers. Such a determined little doggy. He's got to avenge all of the other teammates, so he's got a big job ahead of him. Oof, my hat almost came off. Hi, Harbor. Now, I wonder if I can do this in a way. I'm working on my turning around for an Umbreon OC right now. Oh, that's so cool. Gummy Shark leaving. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that the thingy didn't work the way it usually does. Alright, let's give it like a little clear nose, honestly. Yeah, like that. Although now its head looks kind of round. Blue fellow. I actually think I'm gonna move where the nose is. Oh, did we get a rate? Oh, welcome in, Kitty Lilac. Hello. No, don't worry, I was just testing to see if the other emotes work. Four-leaf beast. They do. If you use four-leaf with the beginning as four-leaf, it should work. Instead of four-leaf 7. Also, hello. Okay, now his nose placement looks kind of funny. Oh, I think it's because the ring is, like, weirdly placed. Just got back from playing Pyre with one of my friends. That's awesome. I hope you guys have fun. The fact that my sub ran out before the exact stream I saw the new animated modes. I'm so sorry, Sirling Beef. I keep adding new ones. I had another idea for one, was like the nodding and like taking notes emote. I think I want to do that next week. Just because I think that one will get a lot of use. That seems like one that has like a lot of use for it. We did? Awesome. Let's do top of the head, a little more rounded. Coming and leaving. Oh, ever fluctuating. Thank you for the gifted sub. Hold on, we gotta get you down on the thing too. Now Surly Beef can use the new emotes. Oh wait, shit, I wrote it on the wrong layer. Hold on, I gotta get that on the right one so that I know. I'll remember that. It's like a party! Exactly. Tide pool thing is a channel point redeem? Yeah, that is true. The tide pool is just to play. It's kind of like it's like someone described it as being like the little prizes you get at the dentist. It's just for fun. Anyone can play it. It's a free, not gambling gacha with collectibles. We also need four-leaf dance. I was gonna either do the breakdancing for that or the Club Penguin dance. But that'll be... Honestly, I have to have you guys vote on that. Like, do you want Club Penguin dance or the breakdancing kitten? Seeing Critter do the Club Penguin dance would kill me. Alright, that sounds like a poll. If I can do that while I'm doing this. I wonder if I can even get the breakdancing kitten GIF small enough that it would be readable. This is such a difficult decision. Hi, late because I made a massive veggie soup bowl. How's it going? Pretty good. We're just starting out drawing some of the new dogs, as people say, because we had Sisyphus evolve off stream. We caught Farfetch'd, whose name is Ducky, so we have to draw her too. But other than that, we're pretty much set and ready to go fight Morty. I am gonna maybe train Sisyphus up like a little bit more. Just because I want him to be level cap for that fight. Club Penguin dance. That's why I voted for Club Penguin. I think Club Penguin would translate pretty well. It's possible that you need a big head. Ooh, it's so close. It's 1816 right now. Ooh, now it's 1916. Cute, the tide pool exists now. Yeah. Exactly, you guys can splash and play. It's enrichment. I'm giving you guys enrichment time in the tide pool. Taking my minnows out for enrichment time and letting them swim around. Do you use VideoTuber or VideoTube Mini? Oh, I use Mini. We were looking at getting the upgraded version. My boyfriend's been playing around with it a bit, but we still use Mini. Unless something changed and I'm unaware, honey, because he's in the chat. He is Shovelbug. Did I miss a second death? Yes. Ducky should have that... Wait, I should make her look like Tutu. Wait, you're so right. Oh my god, stop. I should have named her Tutu. I don't know why I didn't even do that. I should do that. I was kind of sad because I wanted to have a boy Farfetch'd named after my Farfetch'd in my game, but now I can't be sad. I could never be sad at Princess Tutu. Is the full version out? I think it's out, but it might be in beta, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, though. I am not the tech guy. And it's not out. You can get early access to the full version by supporting the devs. I see. I see. This is so relaxing. This is so relaxing before something scary happens. I just realized I have to do this again because there's another frame. Poop. I made this so beautiful, but now I'm like, I have to animate a whole nother frame. At least these animations are only 2 frames. Posture check, thank you. Did the naming list reset for October subs? I think Ethan has the naming list. Although, I also had a sticky note with it on here, so if my boyfriend wanted to come in and help me find it, that'd be dope, because, I'm not sure where it is on the desk. It's a bit of a mess right now. Oh wait, I should make this 20. I started animating Critter Club Penguin Dance a while ago and quit after 2 frames because there's immediately a full turnaround. I said, fuck that, I'm not strong enough, actually. Oh yeah, which dance won? Was it Breakdancing Kitten or was it the other, or was it Club Penguin Dance? In the bathroom, I'm sorry, it's okay. Breakdancing Kitten, okay. It's okay. I already have the Breakdancing Kitten animated, or like the keyframes animated. I just need to actually render it. I think I made the head too small. Oh yeah, for sure I did. Hold on, you guys, you gotta get bigger. Get bigger, idiot. Okay, there we go. So I have to resize that. There we go. And I think you guys should do this one. Yeah, that looks better. Now it's too big. The streamer. Biggered like the Lorax? Please. Please. Have mercy. Hi, welcome in, Digidoggo. I feel like this is gonna look funny. I might just need to do a simpler movement. Hydrate, thank you. I might need to do a simpler movement. No, I see the vision. I was kind of thinking of making it more exciting, kind of like the original Pokemon sprites. Sorry, you summoned me with that? The Onceler? Why are you summoned by the Onceler, Coda? Do you have something you need to share with the class? Okay, wait. So my nose. It's so chilly outside. My nose is kind of running. Sisyphus. I forgot Sisyphus is on these. Honestly, I just might need to make a new folder that has Sisyphus in it so that it's easier to move around this guy. The farters. Actually, maybe this doesn't look so bad. He's tapping. Sorry, anytime a car goes by outside, we just go the farters. Are you using a new animation program? Actually, no. This is just Clip Studio Paint. I just put it in light mode because I like it and I think it looks a little prettier. But this is still Clip Studio Paint. One time I said my friend reminded me of the Lorax because his mustache is well maintained and her hair is blonde and very well, and she was so upset I compared her to the Lorax. That's pretty funny. Sorry, that's kind of funny. I would be upset by this too. Awaga. Hi, Ra. Lucky Burger, luck be upon you. Thank you. Blessed by all Nessie. Hi, Nova. Now I just need to get the portions right. Work smarter, fart harder. No. No more. Okay, what we're gonna do... I need to make that a little smaller. My brilliance. And then expand, yep, by 3 pixels. Haha. I'm sorry, I do you actually. No, it's okay. We'll never live down. Work smarter, fart harder. You cannot shed the best phrase ever coined. I'll accept my fate. Also, I feel like I have the look of a disheveled trainer who has lost 2 Pokemon right now because I'm in the clothes that I slept in. I'm in a Hanten. I am sitting at a desk that's like messy as hell because I've been working and training Pokemon all day. And I have a can of wasabi peas next to me as my nourishment for tonight. No cute aesthetic snack. No like cute put together stream desk. We go in like disheveled, haggard by the horrors of war. My Swansea era of grieving? You look like you've been grieving. Wasabi peas. I had another pumpkin coffee. They're delicious. Those are so good. Like pumpkin, like did you have like a pumpkin latte or did you have like black pumpkin coffee or like pumpkin coffee with like creamer? All of those are good options. Is that a new background? It's so cute. Yeah. Oh, also we have we have ads incoming, it looks like. Which you can see next to me, next to my little fat head. Coffee with creamer? Nice. That's what that is? Yeah, it's like a little ads thing so that it tells people when ads are happening, if that's what you were referring to. It's there to let you guys know when they're coming on, especially so like if you're wondering why someone can't hear what I'm saying, it's probably because they're in ads if they're like not a sub. I just thought it'd be nice so that I can know when ads are coming for the non-subs. The only thing I'm gonna do is add like 1 smudge frame. Or less of a smudge frame, but more like a little in-between. Don't do that. That's not what I meant to hit. His ass. My god, his ass. Oh, how'd you get the ads incoming? That is a good question for Forrest, because I don't know how he did that. Honestly, at some point, Forrest should make YouTube tutorials of the stuff that he does for streams, because I think that a lot of people would like to know. He's very talented. I have to make him a proper PNG tuber so that he can make YouTube videos and have his little talkie guy. The power of Mix It Up Bot. I'm serious though, I'll make you like a little guy and then you can have your own section of the YouTube channel and do tutorials. I think the head should go up too. Like... this should come up just a little bit. Yeah, that's looking really nice. I know I'm spending a lot of time on Sisyphus's, but like it's because he's fully evolved, so this will be his for the entire time. And also just I think he looks cool, so I kind of want to have it be a proper one. There's tutorials out there, you just need to know the terms to find them. I feel like it's a big hurdle. I mean, this is true honey, but also you can make your own. There's nothing wrong with making your own thing. You can also make your own and make it cute. And people love cute things. I know, because I am one. You're the evolutions guy. I think you get past getting a lovingly rendered Umbreon. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad everyone understands. It's funny because I'm not even the evolutions guy so much as I'm the Eevee guy. Sisyphus making me so happy. Foxbob, I feel like you picked like the perfect name for it too. Sisyphus is such a good name for an Umbreon. The other thing I think I want is like this back leg to kind of come up a little bit. And almost like we can see how that looks. Does he need to come down? Let's see what it plays like. It almost looks like it should be... I do kind of like it. I think maybe I just need to edit the foot on both of them. And I will make this like longer so that they have like a little more playback time. Let's see how quickly this goes. That's too long now. That's a little better. The Stomper. I like how it tweaks. Yeah. I think it's got some charm to it. It's got like I don't know, it's fun to me. Ah. I do need to make another layer for the colors though. Does Sisyphus have any kind of accessory? He used to have the Everstone because we weren't going to evolve him, but I actually kind of like not giving him one now because he's evolved now. Plus, Umbreon's design is just so good. It's hard to edit it at all. He's free. He's free of his stone. He looks like how emote characters dance. That's kind of funny, actually. I know what you're talking about. I've watched My Little Pony a little bit, not all of it. He ate it? He ate the stone. Yeah, actually. Actually, maybe I'll just make the hind leg dark too. Yeah, it doesn't even look bad. We should watch MLP. I would love to. I would love to MLP watch party together. In another life, I would have had an MLP watch party with you. Now I do need to color the nose white or else it'll like fade into the background. Hell yeah. Oh my god, scary. I got a kitten's paw scallop. You got a rare one. You got a rare thingy. Never actually been to a tide pool myself. I have, but I want to go more. I haven't been enough. Every year, not even every year, really just every time I'm at the beach, because it's not always every year, I ask if we can go to tide pools, and no one wants to go with me. And it's sad. I want to go. I want to go get things. Things and creatures. What animation program are you using? I am using Clip Studio Paint. It is very, very useful, and I think more people should try Clip Studio Paint's animation because it's really nice, actually. It's really fun to use, and it's not that difficult. And I am someone who is notoriously allergic to hard things and new things, so that's a lot coming from me. I really am, and it's not even because I'm lazy. It's actually kind of like the opposite. I hate wasting time. Like I like being efficient and I like being productive, but unfortunately, learning something does not always go hand in hand with efficiency because you have to be bad at stuff to learn how to do it better. So trying out Clip Studio Paint's animation program was kind of like huge because, like I said, I am not very good at like being bad at stuff. I get angry. I get antsy. I agree. Clip Studio Paint animation is the GOAT. Absolutely. All right, so then let's dupe this layer. Oh my god, scary. It's pretty much all in the same spot except for some small things. All the small things. Wow, wow. Wow, wow. Nobody could make me hate you, Sisyphus. Never in a million years. Especially because I'm going to rely on him to carry in this gym. We have, like, the vague outlines of a plan. But they very heavily rely on Sisyphus. I have 8 cave clovers that I am about to run the tide pool dry. You should only be able to redeem it once a day. So that way it doesn't get, like, too much. But, I figured it would be a nice little thing to do with the clovers if you don't want to spend them on other things. You will always be able to collect from the tide pool. There we go. Let's see how he plays now. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. Really, really nice. The only thing I might do is add that white lining to all of these overlap sections. I think that could be kind of nice to have too. Ooh, except for there, because that's, I didn't realize that was part of the color. Proving to be more effete than I originally thought it was. That's okay. It's for Sisyphus and we want his sprite to look cute. Sea urchin, I'm adding that later. We can't decimate the ecosystem. Exactly. You can't take too much. You can only take a little bit at a time. Is there anemones in the tide pool? Because I like those things. I could probably add in an anemone. They're not typically there, I don't think. I've never found one, at least. I have found sea urchins, and I even found a baby sea turtle once. I didn't disturb it, though, because you're not supposed to do that. But I don't know about an anemone. I've never seen an anemone. Fars, please let us dig up invasive Kina sea urchins and feed them to fish. Can you add a cool-ass rock to the tide pool? There should be sea glass, so I hope that constitutes as a cool-ass rock, but we could just call it cool-ass rock, if that's more what you're thinking. More up your alley. Alright. Oh, I guess I didn't fully color it there. Okay, that should be all good. So I can export this now. And add this to the Pokemon. And this is Sisyphus 2. OMG Umbreon, yeah! Our Umbreon evolved off stream. And to be honest, I'll do Ducky real quick, since she's also part of the new team. I'm gonna close this. Only thing I might need that for really quick is just to grab the blue. The only thing about making Ducky look like Ahiru is that I don't know if we have enough space for it, because that's pretty, like, she'd be very stretched out. But I'll try. Okay, is chocolate candy or its own category? I think it's a type of candy, in the same way that like a hard candy is a type of candy, but like there's more, like it's not like there's just one type of hard candy. Does that make sense? Like you could say that a butterscotch is a hard candy, but in the same way that you could say like a Kit Kat is a chocolate, but if you were saying you wanted some candy specifically, you wouldn't say to someone you probably wouldn't say to someone I want chocolate if you specifically meant I want Reese's. I think her wing's too big. Okay, wait. What if instead of making her look like Duck, we make her do the Leave and Polka? The Leaks song. First time's chatter, love the layouts, and a big fan of the Three Musketeers, gummies, centipedes, and candy corn. I miss having a sweet tooth. I can't eat much desserts anymore, although I like a lot of baked goods. Or I guess I can't eat candy anymore, but I can eat baked goods pretty okay. And I power through ice cream because I still like ice cream. I should draw Farfetch'd for my daily mons too. It's so cute. It's like such a good Pokemon design. I don't like how I did that one eyebrow. Candy makes me feel bad and I feel old. Yeah, that's what happened to me. I had to stop eating it because I couldn't, it was making my tummy hurt. It was making my tummy hurt, make my teeth hurt, so I had to stop eating it. Did you get the Farfetch'd off stream? Yes, I did. I want to show everyone the team and like where we're at when I'm done drawing the new guys, or really just drawing Ducky, because I trained like crazy off stream and also got Farfetch'd. I wonder if I have enough room. Hold on, I don't really like the face that I did. Want to make her cuter. There we go. That's more like a duck bill. Wait, does Farfetch'd have a duck bill or? Now I'm not sure. And these are meant to, sorry, don't tell me either, because these are meant to be from memory. So it makes it a little harder, but also like trying to remember. Gonna put your heart and soul into drawing Ducky and she'll die instantly. Don't say that. Don't say that. I trained her to level 25. How do you make sure all the team members are proportional next to each other? I draw with the same brush size and I draw on the same canvas. So all of the folders, I guess you guys can't see, but like they're all of the team members are here. They're on the same canvas basically. I love when characters have open eyes and the pupils are expressive, like how you're drawing it. Me too! I love drawing characters like that. I think it's so cute. I now have a few pieces and go, I need water. I don't know. I think Farfetch'd has a white tummy. The only thing is, I'm really feeling like this wing is both too big, and it's also just like not got a nice shape to it. I would much rather have a silly drawing, cute drawing, than one that has like a big fuck ass wing. I want to have the ability to have her leak be huge and like swinging back and forth. Her sword. I think I'm gonna put the tail here. Don't under any circumstances read this message, otherwise the world may explode. Okay. Well, that was gonna happen anyway. Very relaxing music. It's for drawing before we go to Morty. I need to calm down. But also thank you. I want to be calm going into the fight so that I can be prepared. It may explode anyway. The probability is there. Exactly. Okay, then... Honestly, I'm gonna go niceys and easy on myself for this one. Not go too crazy. I think this is the next beat, yeah. And... just kinda... Ooh, wrong layer? There we go. This is a minuscule but non-zero chance of explosion at all time. Or there is? Yeah, this is exactly true. I gotta make sure the leak doesn't get too tall so it doesn't go off the frame. Wah, don't do that. I had to send everyone home early because work is slow, but I'm closer so I can leave. Artlocke stream is saving my life. Oh, Toasty Chai, I'm so glad. I hope you get off soon. I hope you can come join us. Alright. Alright. And then I'm gonna actually make the little foot, like, stick out, because I think that'd be funny. Thank you, just an hour left. You're so close. I remember that feeling. Working from home is nice for that specifically, of like no more like end of work wait. Hold on, I am gonna make your head bob a little bit, I think, just because I think that'd be cute. And I can also make the mouth like open wider. The Pokemon illustrations remind me of the little animations like the ones at the end of Totoro. Wait, that's so cute. I love Totoro. I think my favorite Miyazaki movie is probably Howl's Moving Castle. I mean, I'm like a fake gay bitch if I don't like Howl's Moving Castle, I feel like. I don't know, I'm very simple. I like romance. But I like good romance. And so I'm also picky with it. Did you ever watch Graves of the Fireflies yet? I did not. I don't watch new movies very often because I want to make sure I have time to appreciate them when I do. Um, I like to make it a whole thing. So I have not seen it yet. Do you know Totoro was originally only going to have one girl in it, but they decided to be too lonely without a sister? That's kind of cute, actually. I also really love Ponyo because my little sister really likes Ponyo. So, like, I'm biased because it's my sister's fave. Alright, what if your whole body teetered a little bit, too? Because I think that would be cute. I'm basic. I like Spirited Away. Oh, I also like Spirited Away. I just saw Spirited Away for the first time with my boyfriend very recently, and I enjoyed it immensely. Yeah, there we go. Now it's got some character to it. She's so silly. I was gonna say, because Ducky doesn't evolve, so this is gonna be her sprite forever, so we gotta make it cute. Grave of the Fireflies isn't new, though? No, I've just never seen it. There's actually quite a few Miyazaki movies I'd never seen. Like I said, I saw Spirited Away for the first time very recently. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of really anything growing up, so I hadn't seen Spirited Away until Forrest and I started dating. It's always why I say I encourage people to try new things, because I spent a lot of my life having not seen a lot of things and not experienced a lot of things that were pretty common experiences. So now that I have, I'm like, everyone get out there and do cool stuff. Spirited Away is a masterpiece, absolutely. I've never seen Nausicaa. That's the other one that I haven't seen that I really want to, because I've heard only good things about it. Oh wait, I gotta do the feats. I do also love Ponyo because my little sister really likes Ponyo. I think Nausicaa is my favorite Ghibli film. I've just seen like that robot from it. I think that's what the robot's from. And I know that little creature is in it, like the one that has like the kind of cat-like appearance. I think it's very cute. I feel like it does have a belly. I feel like this guy does have like a cream colored belly, because I'm looking at it right now without it and it doesn't look like Farfetch'd. Do you also have a white spot on your head? No, that's not true. Tito, is that the name of the little creature? Or Tato? That would be Tato, wouldn't it? Isn't the robot from Castle in the Sky? Wait a second, you're right. It is from Castle in the Sky. I really like Porco Rosso always. Also, people don't like that one or haven't seen it. Oh, thank you for the posture check. And the save break. Forrest really likes Porco Rosso. That's the other one he wanted me to watch with him. So I guess that'll be on our watch list soon, too. The creature only appears briefly in Castle in the Sky. Oh, okay. Wait, is Tito in both Nausicaa and Castle in the Sky? Ah! Ducky is so cute. A fun one is Pompoko. Pompoko is the Tanuki one, right? Because Porco Rosso is about the pilot that's a pig. And then Pompoko is the Tanuki one. Okay. Okay, I wanted to see Pompoko because I think they're funny. I love Tanukis as animals. I just think they're cute. Okay, this needs to be darker. Okay, Pompoko is not a very happy one, though. Wait, is it not happy? I thought it was silly. I thought it was about Tanukis. It is about sad Tanukis. Oh. It's silly, but the ending is kind of sad. Oh. I mean, I'll still watch it. I would say the ending of Spirited Away is kind of sad, and I still really liked Spirited Away. Sometimes a sad ending isn't a bad one. Sometimes it's just an ending. I think Tito's species also appears in Castle in the Sky, but not Tito specifically. Okay, okay. Okay. Getting there. I think a lot of Ghibli movies have very bittersweet endings. I would agree. I honestly think that the ending to Howl's is like one of the happier endings because it's kind of like a I like it, like I like the ending. It feels much more natural to the story that they were telling, but at the same time it's like not a very traditional like children's movie ending. Like the villain of Howl's Moving Castle doesn't really face any like comeuppance for what happened or like what she did, which I always think is really interesting, and it's also revealed in like such a like blink and you miss it kind of way. But I like it. Like I almost like that more because that feels more realistic. I'm on PC now. Welcome. Hi, Lemmy. This talk has motivated me. I will rewatch Nausicaa tonight. All right. Is House Moving Castle the one about the girl gets the guy? That is a very... Sorry. That could describe a lot of different movies that have come from Ghibli. But it's the one about the wizard guy and Sophie, who's like a girl who turns into an old lady. She gets like cursed. Sorry, I'm only giggling because I'm trying to be like, what movie are you thinking of? I love Boy and the Heron. There was a bit at the start that caught me off guard. It might be triggering, but it's very good otherwise. Had to think about it. No worries. And also, I hate to say, I don't really have any... I don't really have any triggers. I mean, I do, but like none that are like ever in movies. So I think that I'll be okay, and I do want to watch it at some point. I really wanted to go see it in theaters, but we were like doing something at the time, so we couldn't. I want to see Look Back in theaters too. It's like asking which Ghibli movie is the one about the war. Actually, so real. So real. Off topic, but have you ever played Little Kitty Big City? I have not. I have not played that. What style of game is it? Oh, it's a self-harm scene? Okay. I mean, like I said, that kind of stuff. I hate to say that doesn't really bother me because that's just been my real life, so... I know some people are bothered by it, though, so it's good to know for that sake. Just thank you for your warning, but, like, I'm good without. It's an adventure game where you collect little hats. That's cute. That sounds cute. Alright, I think she's finally done. Ducky can join us now. Yippee! And that means it's time. It's finally time to go back to the actual game and get on with the Nuzlocke. Oh my god, and it's nighttime too. It was a full hour of drawing, so now it's nighttime in the game. I got to see Spirited Away live on stage in theaters and I loved it. That sounds awesome. Also, let's redo the sprites at the bottom while we're here. I'll just have to... Oh, thank you for the posture check. My back does kind of hurt. If Forrest was in the chat right now and wanted to be a guardian angel, I would love pain reliever, but if not, that's okay. Actually, I'm gonna minus this out so it's a little easier for me to see. Okay, this is all right. I don't want to bring you. Oh, but I don't know if I want to bring... I guess I could bring Free Run, because Free Run is kind of going to be like a sack if we need it. We have all of these guys and then a next box over too. None of these are dead. These are just like ones that I haven't trained or plan to use. If you need me to coach, let me know. I'll help you out. But I think you could do it. You're smart and epic. Thank you. I think I got it. Harper. Potential sack, exactly. I don't hear many people talk about Only Yesterday. I don't actually know that one. Alright, let's go to the team so I know who I have with me. And first slot, I'm going to put Sisyphus because he's going to be our main guy. Awesome. His sprite looks really good. Then second spot, I'm going to put Harry. He's too big. There you go, Harry. Now you're normal sized. I mean, actually, Harry's not proportional. Well, I just didn't want him to be so big he was taking up all that space. There you go, that's better. Low Tide didn't come with us, so... Kettle instead. Apollo's on the team. Oh, I have two Kettles. Oh, Ducky. There's Ducky. She's so cute. My baby. And then Free Run come back. All my birds. Two Kettles, two Potodiles. I love movies like that. They make me so emotional. Arrietty was actually and I think that it was very pretty. Like, I think the beginning of the movie was really engaging. It was one of the first Ghibli movies I saw in theater, but I actually didn't really like the movie all that much. I just wasn't satisfied by it. But maybe if I rewatched it as an adult, I would like it more. That I would have to see. How did we get Espeon? I evolved Sisyphus last week while I wasn't streaming because I know that we need him pretty badly on the team. All right, let's see. I haven't fought this lady yet. Yeah, I think I got to Morty. That's how far I got. I'm kind of nervous. Oh wait, I guess I should turn off the relaxing music now, huh? I should go back to having the DS game music. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, and it's the hour too. Exactly on the hour. Mortifying Morty. Alright. I think I got it. I'm gonna send out... I think I got it. No relaxing, get scared. I guess I do have to do it. I do have to be scared. You're gonna help me reach that level. Okay, Morty. You can do it, Critter. I'm waving pom-poms. I just want to get through this fight so we can progress. Like, this isn't the part I'm too scared of. Okay, now we gotta switch, because this is this is scary. This is gonna take a little bit of damage. Okay, we gotta switch out before it uses Mean Look. It's probably gonna use Sucker Punch here, which is kind of good for us, because Harry has non-damage inducing moves. Please use Sucker Punch. Oh, okay. Well, actually, that kind of makes sense. So he might use Dream Eater. I think we're gonna confuse Ray. Okay, the Sucker Punch I predicted. This is good for me. Harry power. And then we're gonna put him to sleep. Okay, good. This is good. Let's go. My plan set is working out. Careful, knock on wood, Lemmy. The other thing I'm going to do in between the Astonishes is do Sand Attack, because I have a feeling that it's going to try and put me asleep again, and it's also going to try and Sucker Punch again. But if it can't hit me, then it doesn't really matter. Yeah, see? I knew it was going to wake up. Okay, good for me. Stall his silly ass. I'll do anything to win this. It's fine. Awesome. Harry sweep. It's funny, this is Harry's only job. He literally only has this gym, and then he goes into the box for safety. Okay, stay asleep. Sucker Punch might scare me a little bit, but not that much. Oh, Citrus Berry. Here's getting put on paid leave after this. He's a grandfather. Dimple's homophobic family is getting annihilated. It's okay. Harry doesn't need to do anything more than this. Oh, great. Now we missed. Harry is peaking in this gym. This is his moment. This is what he trained for. Harry will sweep the whole game, trust me. I don't know if I believe that. Gengar Sleepwalk ate his Citrus Berry over the kitchen and dropped it in the sink. Guys are never gonna let me forget that. Snort. Me. He's so locked in. Harry. This is the scariest fight of his entire life. Okay. Can we maybe... Awesome. I was really hoping it wouldn't successfully do, like, a Sucker Punch. He will single-handedly defeat Red? See, I don't know about that. This is an evil Pokemon to fight, this Gengar. We won't, but we're laughing at the situation with you. Oh, with the situation, not you. If it's possible, you could believe. It's possible if you believe. Harry will win. Party too hard from victory. Spends the rest of the game nursing a hangover in the box. That's the future I predicted. This is so tense. I believe in you, Harry. He's putting in work. What's funny is, like, if I just play this right, there's not actually any danger. But, like, I like to think of it as he's like clocking in and clocking out of work. Like this is the only job he has. Think you can spam Atonish and skip on Hypnosis? Yeah, I probably can. Just wanted to be safe. Whew, okay. Beast down. I would like to put this guy to sleep though, so he's not annoying. Actually first, if we're gonna be so honest. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with your Hypnosis. Okay, yeah, so I knew that was coming, but don't worry. Harry can take a little curse. He can take a little cursing. And now this is for Sisyphus, so that he can get some levels. Dumps a bucket of sand on the ghosts. Alright, and Pursuit. Yeah, the 2 sand attacks are gonna do some work for this guy. Harry loves curses. He's gonna throw sand. He's literally throwing pocket sand. Reagan moment. And one more of these guys. It's not over yet. I still believe we can do it. Okay, bud. I didn't realize... Oh, I guess because it's a ghost move, it can hit me. Interesting. Well, this is good to know. I think I can hit one more. Got more discipline than anyone? Okay. You literally cooked. Huh. Scary. The Umbreon animation came out great. Thank you. A little scary, but I think... Because I think Nightshade just does a base damage based off of the Pokemon's level. How is this possible? That was really close. Yeah, I calculated. I think we were good. Oh, I can feel like I breathe now. I don't think our potentials are so different. You seem to have something more than that. So be it. This badge is yours. You've done it! Now we can finally progress. By having the Fog badge, Pokemon up to level 50, including traded Pokemon, will obey you. Also, Pokemon will be able to use Surf. Here's another thing, I want you to have this too. A Shadow Ball. Nice, nice, nice. And no one died, exactly. Use it if it appeals to you. Whee! Thank goodness. Retirement, Harry retirement era. It's time for him to chill. Chill eternally in the living box, not in the grave box. Ah. Alright, and this also means we can move our team around again and get all the guys that I want to have on the final team for surezies with us. So, Harry, you paid your dues, buddy. Good job. You fought hard. Haven't been able to make it to every single stream. Have we had any deaths? Oh my god, wait, the death counter is gone. I don't know where that went. Hold on. I guess I have to add that in. So, what is the new level cap if we're gonna fight Chuck next? While I'm doing this. Alright, we've got level cap and deaths. We've had 2 deaths. I think I did 3 spaces by mistake. Not Chill Chuck. Morty loves being a cheeser, so you just out-cheesed him. Larger? Sorry, I forgot about the death counter. Yeah, it is very large. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Here, let me check what Chuck's guys are. What are his Pokemon levels? Let me take a look at this. Level 31? Oh wow, that's not actually that high. Alright, I mean, I guess it's like 6 levels. That's not nothing. Wow, it's fucking huge. Oh my god. Oh my god? Get smaller, idiot? There we go. That sounded like someone screaming outside. There we go. Who died? I can show you. Franz and Velvet both died. I was very sad about it because they both died the same way. Alright, honestly, Furin, I'm sorry, girl, but I don't think we will be using you again. You will not be revisiting the team. Only trouble now is I'm not really sure who all will bring with us. I guess I could bring, Polar with us. Actually, no. You know what? Let's train Dimple. Let's get Dimple, because Dimple has, like, better level balance. We're moving on without Dimple? Unlikely. It's not possible. We need to bring Dimple. He's part of the gag at this point. Oh, Doggo, thank you for the sub. Alright, hold on. Let's get these. Let's get the Pokemon situation settled. I will be putting, so that's right. You're right, Harry needs to change out for Dimple. Why is Dimple so big? Dimple needs to go on a redemption arc for his family's crimes. It's just like Mob Psycho for real. Alright, hold on. You need to move over. Kettle is in the team, so that's right. Bye, Harry. You did well. He can rest now. Watch out. He's a hero. Or it's like, careful now. He's a hero. There's Lil Tide. And yeah. I'm gonna scoot him around a little bit. Ah. He's scooting. He's scooting. Alright, there we go. All set. Harry's wasting away in Margaritaville. Do you like pina coladas? Oh wait, did we heal? Please tell me we healed. Oh my god, we did not heal. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Now we're not going to the route with fucking Pursuit Raticate just yet. That's scary. Getting caught in the rain. Scary. That was almost bad. Did you save? No, but I can do that really quick. Alright, let's save. Oh my god, the frame rate always goes down so much when I save. Alright, let's progress on to the next route. I think this guy, there's like a sailor trainer right up here. And the other thing we have is we have the entirety of the lighthouse to train everybody to level 31. So there's really a lot of like pretty generous areas to train. I am going to switch train Dimple, I think, because I don't know what any of these people have, and Dimple needs the levels, and also I want him to be Haunter so I can redraw him. The stream has grown in viewership so much since I last caught one. Thank you, Truisty Balls. Oh yeah, Dimple, we gotta get your ass out of here. I don't care if you have Levitate, this is scary. Alright, so it can't be Apollo. Honestly, this might be a Ducky game, because I don't think Wooper has any Rock-type moves. We should also get Haunter Dimple so he can be useful. Yeah, once he gets Shadow Punch, it'll be great. The animated party at the bottom is so cute. Dimple, I can't. Dimple has too much to live for. He's got to survive now after all of this. After the fact that Dimple didn't die means that he has to live now. Nice. Let's get Dimple some levels. There's like a bunch of trainers here. Actually, the grass kind of scares me though, because it does have Raticate in it. And Raticate does have Pursuit, and Pursuit's scary for a ghost type, especially a Ghastly. He's literally the chosen one. Okay, so it's gonna use Thundershock, which means we should send out to Sisyphus, methinks. Oh, but it's gonna have a physical... Sisyphus has physical moves and it'll go paralyzed, so I'm gonna use Kettle instead. And then it gets paralyzed anyway. I tried. Dimple needs to evolve so he can stop being a fart. He's literally a fart cloud, just like real Dimple. The Umbreon looks like it's saying Owawa. I'm still hoping for Aoni Haunter. That would be kind of scary. But maybe that's the only thing we can make Dimple look like. I could have his hands like rattling the bars. Okay, come on, Kettle. Come on, Kettle. Come on, Kettle. Kettle! Kettle! That's like 4 turns in a row. Kettle. Okay, there we go. More scary than it already is. One must imagine Sisyphus Owawa. He's doomed to be ugly forever. Kettle, for fuck's sake, dude. He's trying so hard and it's just not working. Okay, that's good for us at the very least. Can we get a quick attack, mate? Oh, come on. Come on. Hi, Chad. I've been able to make it in days because my new job is until 7. Oh, welcome back, Dobermantis. Maybe, Ember. Okay, your health is getting a little low and it's kind of scaring me. I might be pansy for it, but I don't want anyone else to die, so I'm switching out to Sisyphus. And we're just gonna go back. How often do you stream your Artlocks? This is my first time viewing when I don't want to miss out. I stream once, the Artlock once a week on Wednesday. And then all the other days of the week there's different subjects. Like on Monday, we do study buddy streams, where I do art studies. On Tuesday, I usually do like artwork, so like getting work done. And then on Wednesday's Artlock, Thursday is either just, you know, structural art that needs to get done, or usually special events. Oh, ever fluctuating, thank you for the gifted sub! Oh, and then Friday right now is Scary Games for Halloween. Okay. Oh wait, this is fine, you're a Psychic type, why was I switching? Ow, Oni Gengar would be so funny. I really want to make... I kind of wanted to make him Muscular Dimple, but Ow, Oni Gengar would be really funny. Come on, the paralysis is so evil. I mean, I'm not really worried because these Pokemon aren't that strong, it's just kind of annoying. Muscular Dimple would be funnier. I'll have to put it to a vote. When Dimple evolves, like, are we turning him to Owl Oni, or are we keeping him, are we making him, like, Chad Muscular Dimple? I believe in democracy here. Really good Pokemon. Boys give me items after battles, but sometimes they can be too much. Next time I can share it with you if you want some. Let me have your phone number. Okay. I feel like her dialogue changes if you're a boy or a girl in this game, which I think is really funny. Oh no. Alright, hold on. I'm switching someone out front so that we don't have to worry about Pursuit, Eradicate. And again, I know this is pansy, but look, see, what did I tell you? It's like as soon as you don't want it to happen, it happens. Hunter Chad, Gengar Aoni. This is such like a ragtag team of Pokemon too. This is like not who I expected to bring with me to the end. I mean, I guess like Flaffy and Slowpoke I did. But if you had told me I was gonna have a Farfetch'd and Dimple with me, I would not have believed you. Oh, Evolved Dimple. Wait, I want to see the poll results. Ooh, Aoni is winning. I think now that I beat Morty, I'm like calm because I've been like prepping for that all week. I'm so sad we lost Franz. I named him so he feels kind of like he was my friend. I'm sorry, Ectoviolet. I am still really sad about that. Franz was one of the Pokemon I really wanted to bring to the end with me. I also just really like Heracross. Like, I'm a big Heracross and Caesar fan. I'm sad he's gone, but we can remember the fun we had along the way. Exactly. Do you still need a Tylenol? Yes, if that's okay. Sorry, I'm starting to get, like, the beginnings of a headache. Nuzlocke do that to you on purpose? They do. They do, and it's evil. Alright. I have a headcanon about the older games. About older Pokemon games is that when asked you if you're a boy or girl, both tags are actually MB, and they just present fem and masked respectively. I like your mind. I enjoy your headcanons. I actually did that where I like made OCs. Their names are Domino and Melody, and Domino is a butch girl, or Domino's like a baby butch, and Melody is just a really feminine non-binary person. And I drew them as the protagonists of Hi, Diamond Pearl Platinum.
I take one, and if it doesn't help, then take the second.
Okay. Thank you. But Gengar is a trade Evo. Is there a setting on here that... Yeah, there is a way to get trade Evos, thankfully. Also, to Fish and Chippy, Critter for streams. I'm actually starting to use Critter as my, like, little title for most things. Where's the drug dealer? No, he's just brought me Tylenol. I heard the word butch. Yeah, I have a character I named Domino, who's like a baby butch, I made my team in Diamonds based around. Can't listen to stream out loud because my mom is home. Don't worry, I won't say any potty words. Ooh, now it's like neck and neck Chad and Aoni. I'm surprised so many people have voted in this poll. Is there poll can you use clovers in it, or is it like a true democracy poll? Critter streams, famously bodiless. Is that a Pokedex? Have you seen Professor Oak? Huh, you have? That's way cool. I have a dream of becoming a Pokemon researcher like Professor Oak. May I please have your phone number? Alright, yeah, sure. It's a clover poll? Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, how are there that many people? I don't even think there's that many people in stream right now. This one is extra vote for 1K clovers? Okay, that's fair. Cooking dinner, I had the wrong burner on for like 10 minutes. I must be hexed. I've done that before. I promise I've done that before. I understand Ectoviolet. She just doesn't like you having audio on at all. I kind of get that. I mean, I think, like, if you live in a house, you should be able to listen to stuff, but I guess if she's, like, working or if she's tired, I get not wanting noise. I just hope she's not mean about it. Oh, I guess static is probably making this happen. I do clover pulls when it isn't something that actually matters. Fair, fair, fair. Oh wait, there's a trainer there. But I'd have to go... I think she's got a Snubble anyway, which has Bite, so we'll just come back and fight her later. Alright, so this person has Psychic Pokemon, which will be good for Sisyphus to fight. I don't think they're going to have Mean Look or anything. Hope Polar gets to grow up big and strong. I agree. The only thing is that Polar's another electric type, so we probably won't use Polar unless something happens, like, to Apollo, which would be very sad. But it's good to have backup plans. No, she's nice. It's just I'll have to go to the bedroom when the battery runs all the way out, and my dog isn't allowed upstairs and he's cuddling with me right now. I understand. Alright. I'm just glad that we managed to beat Morty a-okay. It was a little scary, training this week. Do you plan to do another Artlocke after this one? If you guys like the Artlocks, I will. Someone mentioned there being a ROM hack of Platinum where you can have Pokemon walk behind you, and if I could find that, I would absolutely play it. Apollo has the Kamino glasses. That is not a good omen. Listen, I believe in him. Don't even think about Apollo dying. I love the Artlocks. They are really fun for me, admittedly. Like, Nuzlocke are hard, but I think every so often I need to play a game that's a little challenging. There's a ROM hack of Platinum that adds fairy typing? Huh. I wonder if... I might want to play it more vanilla, but I do definitely want the Pokemon walking behind you, because that's like one of my favorite parts of these games, and why I chose Heartgold to play. I do love the fairy type, by the way. No hate to them, just... I think when it comes to Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, mechanically they're pretty tight as they already are. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this guy here has a Flaffy? Also, let me see, he doesn't have Eradicate. I think we're okay. Paulo seems to be collecting people on TikTok. Collecting? Hi chat, I'm late but I'm here. Welcome in. Black and white Artlocke for your consideration? I would do that. Also, wait, this is so cute. To Fish and Chippy, is this like a little cheer thing? The pride? Oh, he has a Pikachu. Okay, I knew I had an electric type. I do want to do a black and white one at some point. Again, if there's a way that there can be Pokemon walking behind you in that'd be a little harder, I think, probably, because that's the whole dex that someone would have to do sprites of. But, like, if I know anything, it's that people make ROM hacks of a lot of different games. Black and White or Black and White 2, that might be something... I mean, honestly, I could do both. Like, I could do a Nuzlocke of Black or White and then do Black or White 2. Pride Cheer, that's so cute. Alright, thank goodness. Pikachu is not that scary, but electric types are a little scary right now because I don't have anything that resists them. Been lurking for a while. What's the difference between an Artlocke and a regular Nuzlocke, if you don't mind me asking? So Reed, if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see I have my whole team right now drawn out. The difference between an Artlocke and a Nuzlocke is that for an Artlocke, you have to draw every single Pokemon that you catch. And for me, I like bringing those Pokemon along and like putting them at the bottom of the screen for what team members I have. Sorry, I'm trying to decide. Honestly, Lick is not that good. We'll get rid of it for now. But anyway, yeah. An Artlocke is you just have to draw every single Pokemon that you catch. The Explorers of Sky ROM hack community is utterly insane. They are. They're so talented, too. Hey, let's be friends. I figure nobody who likes Pokemon could be a bad person. I don't know about that. Let's chat about Pikachu and Slowpoke and Tentacruel and all kinds of other Pokemon. It'll be fun. That's cute, though. At least he's niceys. Oof, maybe if I take my headphones off, it'll stop giving me a headache. I hate to say I'll just be missing the Pokemon music, but it's not that bad. N enters the chat. I was gonna say, I mean, I don't think that people that like Pokemon are bad, but there have definitely been some mean Pokemon fans before. Someone is rocking the vote. Oh my god, chat is winning? I think people have sprited a lot of the Pokemon walking behind you, but don't quote me on that. I want to see if that's the case. I'll have to look around. I do think I'll do Platinum first, though. And actually, and I would commission this if or like learn how to do the pixel art myself, I would love to have the trainer of the Pokemon game be swapped out for me. I tried helping. Oh, honey, you did. I think I was just, I'm just getting a headache from working all day. Ow, only one? Okay. Randomly got pulled out of stream because my headphones decided to switch to my stream deck, and the music in Clona 2 is magical. What did I miss? We made it to the next city over. We beat Morty, and I was just training Dimple a little bit. I'm gonna switch train him some more by fighting this last trainer up here. And then we're gonna take on the lighthouse, and then we're gonna do Actually, honestly, before the lighthouse, we might do just some tentacle fighting on the route over to the next city. Someone used 101k points? Holy shit! Nexusing was dedicated to that vote. Demure. I'm actually just more impressed you had that many. You're a real one. You've been here since day one. All right, Pikachu. I'm gonna use Ember just so I don't get paralyzed. Corruption in the Clover economy. It is really funny. Do you think the Clover, the little graphic that we use for the Clover, do you think I should make it more saturated, or do you think the colors are nice as it is? I redid that graphic recently, but I feel like I could make it a little more saturated if people wanted it. Also, hi, Crumish. Meowdy meowdy. 101k points for Leaf what? Pretty as it is. Okay, that's good. Oh, someone asked about the Has Been Hotel drinking game. On Tumblr, I just got an asking if I deleted the Has Been Hotel drinking game post, and it's like, yes, for my own safety. They had to put me on witness protection for that post. I like the pastel color, but maybe saturated for a little more pop? That's kind of what I was thinking. Oh wait, none of my Pokemon have Surf. Hold on. Kind of cringe of me. Okay, did get Surf, though. That would have been embarrassing. Aooni is my new rival's main for when I play with friends. Modders really gave him a set play grappler moveset. Wait, in what game? And Lotag can learn it. Nice. Oh, Harbor did meow, didn't he? I thought I imagined that. Hi, Harbor. Honestly, yeah, let's just get rid of Water Gun. I didn't even know what you mean, but Has Been Hotel fans are a little scary. I literally, I played a drinking game with friends the second time I watched it. The first time I watched it sober because I believe in giving things an honest chance. But the second time I watched it with friends, I played a drinking game to it where every time a character was introduced with making that fuck-ass, like, pointy tooth, evil eye expression, you had to take a shot. And then there was another, because we each had different challenges. There was that. There was every single time someone goes, oh, fuck you, you had to take a shot. And then every single time someone was introduced wearing a bow tie, you had to take a shot. And I played the Evil DreamWorks face. Yeah, I played the Evil DreamWorks face edition, and I blacked out by the 7th episode. I couldn't remember anything that happened after that point. Potty word promise broken via Has Been Hotel. They said they didn't need it to be. They said that they didn't need that because they're okay. So I figured it'd be all right. Oh, you know what's scaring me about this? These things have poison sting. Maybe we don't switch Train Dimple here because we need to kill these things as quickly as humanly possible. What is the Evil DreamWorks face? It's like the downturned eyes and the big smile, like big toothy smile with pointy teeth. Poison Sting is scary just because poison, for our rules of this Nuzlocke, if they get to 1 HP on poison, that means they're dead. So like, that is actually kind of scary in this game. It's a funny ass post, but I understand, for your own safety. Like, I wanted to survive. I didn't want people to kill me. How? Sorry, I thought Dimple was making footprints for a second. I was like, hello? Posture check? Thank you. Someone should draw Critter with the Evil DreamWorks face. No! And a can of nondescript alcohol. I do not drink out of cans. I am not... Actually, wait. This can be for non-alcoholic beverages too. Because, you know, soda also comes. I have to know. Hold on. And then I'm gonna make this 3 minutes just because I want to see the Dimple hop. If you did drinking game for all the Has Been shows, you would be in the hospital. I agree with that. I was gonna say, sorry, don't drink irresponsibly, kids, but it is something I did. Take a sip of water instead of a shot. Just get hydrated. Get really, really hydrated. Why not mug? I would say that, like, well, I mean, do you drink soda out of a mug? If you're drinking, or like juice out of a mug? I'm talking about any drinks that you can get that come in things. What if I put it to sleep? Because Dimple can't get poisoned. Maybe this is not a good idea. Dimple's not strong enough to do this. He's too squishy. Oh my god, Dimple. Dimple, why are you so weak? You're scaring me. Why do people hate plastic cups? Because of the flavor. It's got a flavor to it. I'm sorry, honey. He really likes plastic because he doesn't like glass on his teeth. I'm definitely a bottle guy, though. I hate cans. Glass is my friend. Plastic has a taste that's off sometimes. I completely agree. The auditory quality is simply better. Yum, microplastics. I miss glass cups so much. I only have plastic. We have a mix. I use, I actually have a metal water bottle. One of those fuck-ass, like Kong metal water bottles, like when you hit them against things, it sounds like the death bell tolling for you. But I don't put anything in it but water. When I drink non-water things, I usually drink, coffee out of a mug, or out of like if it's iced coffee, out of a glass, or if I'm drinking, anything else. Now I'm trying to think about what else I drink. I mean, I guess I do drink soda out of cans. I don't pour soda out of cans into other things, because I don't like when it gets watered down. I like drinking wine out of wine glasses. I like drinking out of wine glasses. It makes me feel gayer. Plastic cups can live. I hate styrofoam cups. Oh yeah, styrofoam is the worst. Lots of milk cartons. Oh, I actually like the milk cartons. Maybe I'm an outlier, but I actually thought it made the milk taste kind of better. Like, the paper of it always tasted kind of good. But I always drank chocolate milk. I couldn't drink, like, just regular plain milk out of them. And strawberry milk. The strawberry milk was also good. Hi, Harbor. Wine glass crew, rise up. Harbor, can you guys hear him? Where is he? Honey, where are you? I just hear him meowing, but I can't see him anywhere. Meow meow. He's been so chatty lately. I think he's mad. We have to reduce his food because he's getting too fat. Because he's eating all of Pluto's food and his food. I don't know, the styrofoam cups with a cube ice full of ginger ale when you're sick. Yeah, this is actually true. See, I don't do those in styrofoam cups. Usually I do those in, like, plastic cups. It's the one time I'll use plastic. Harbor is so baby. Happens to the best of us, Harbor. Harbor. Oh, Harbor. Foster check, thank you. I am sitting up decently straight because of not drawing right now, which is good. My god, there's like 5,000 tentacle on this route. I just wanna be free. I remember one time my school milk was spoiled and I spat it out. Ugh, and then my friend opened her school milk and asked me if I could taste hers to check it out. Very rude, but also funny. Sorry, spoiled milk, gross. We got our milks replaced though, so it was okay. I feel like if I had drank spoiled milk, I would not be able to drink it normal. Tentacle curse upon you. Tentacle or the Zoob out of the water. This is true. I think Tentacle is literally the only Pokemon in this route without rods. I think you can run into Mantine too. Shit, guys. I just realized we killed our encounter. Cause I've been fainting all of the Pokemon, so I've been fainting all of the Tentacruel. Like, we killed our encounter from this route. I didn't even, like, put it together that we were on a new route, because I've been fighting. Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't really feel like we missed out. So I guess we can't catch Tentacle now, because we failed that encounter. I think you should get a redo for that. Can we redo? Hold on. There is another route. There is another route here where you can catch Forget it. We could get a new one if we desired. I really wasn't thinking about it either. I accept a redo because Tentacle is very good. Okay, we could do a redo. Let me switch Laffy. Honestly, we don't even need a redo. We can just run into a Pokemon. We only killed like 2 Tentacle. Hold on. I think since you can grind wilds, it's fine, but I'm also just... Usually it's supposed to be like your first encounter, but there's literally only Tentacle here. Like, the difference is just the physical Tentacle that we will get. Gasp, cheating. Isn't the sea across 2 routes? It is. Do you guys want to just go to the next route to get our encounter? Because we can do that too. You know what? Let's be good. Let's go to the next route to get our encounter so that we're not cheating. I wanna do this Nuzlocke as honestly as possible, because you can also get Tentacool on the next route. Besides, we need to get to the next place anyway. I kind of want Apollo to evolve. I remember one time I made a concoction. Oh. Does the next one also only have Tentacool? It does. It has Tentacool and Tentacruel, I guess. Yeah, big guy. Okay, I'm actually kind of scared. I'm a little bit scared. I'm kind of scared. Ugh. Why are you hitting so hard? We need... Apollo, you gotta evolve so that you don't die. Stop using acid on me. I think it's fair if you catch the same Pokemon that was your first encounter. You know what? That's true. That's actually fair. I'll say that's fair, because it is... So let me go back. We can heal. And then we can... Because we can heal and then we can encounter another Tentacool. And that way, with the next route, we can get a chance to get something different. Because I think you can catch Mantine on the next route, too. The other thing is, I found the list of who's nicknaming, but I don't know who all's here. Because we have Boopy Snoop, Vulpitism, Marimos, Mothmeat. Are any of those folks here? Of course, same as some random, I am the one who sets the rules. Welcome back, Sterling Beef. Don't worry, don't worry. I have the written list. I just didn't have some of the newer ones. Your Honor, they were being silly. I was just a silly little guy. I was being a silly guy. Well, that's not the first Pokemon we encountered, so I have to kill this guy. I mean, we'll take the EXP. We do take it. It would have been funny to draw some squid-based food or slain Tentacool, but it'd be cool to see your take on actual Tentacool, too. Do subs name the Pokemon? Yes. So what happens is if you get a sub or you gift a sub, we have a list of people to nickname the Pokemon. And the next few people are Boopy Snoop, Vulptism, Remos, and Mothmeat, if any of those people are here. And if none of them are here, I think Mothmeat's the Pickler is going to be the next one. And I honestly can see Tentacool being named the Pickler. I would not be disappointed by that name. Alright, there's our guy. Hey there, I'm sure you get S's a ton, but do you take commissions? I actually very rarely take commissions on my Ko-Fi. So, oh my gosh, Fish and Chippy, thank you for the gifted subs! Hold on, let me write that down. Onto the list is right. I'm gonna have to like rewrite my list. Because it's like so long now that it's like winding around the back of the post-it note. Thank you so much. Love seeing the number 83. It fills me with such joy. It's a good number. It's a solid number. Alright. Oh, honestly, let's put you in a Great Ball, because it matches the color of Tentacool. Like, it's perfect for it. It's like it was made for him. Mothmeat is the next present person. The Pickler. Congrats to the gifted. Demoted me when I get you. Oh, Harpy Who, thank you for the gifted subs too. Do we even have enough Pokemon for everyone on the list? Yes, because there's 2 regions. I think it's when we get to... If we start getting up to, like, 30 nicknames, that's when I'm kind of like, we might not have enough. If someone were interested in commissioning you, how would they go about that? Honestly, just to... This is a very specific and not a normal furry commission, but I would love to get a commission of just my motorcycle. I wonder if I would do that. The only thing I might do is I might just turn your motorcycle into a furry. I've always wanted to do, like, anthro motorcycles, but if you were looking for a commission, Gotson, I would suggest following my Ko-Fi, because I announced commission openings there. It is unfortunately not like an order service, like you can't just get it whenever. It is genuinely just, sometimes I'm like, I feel like taking commissions right now, and I'll open them and they usually fill up pretty quick. I do appreciate the interest though, it's just, that's the system I found is most successful for me. Challenge appeared, motorcycle. Follow them on Ko-Fi, when Chibi opens up it'll notify you. Yeah, it will. The Pickler fits perfectly. Well, I guess it's time to draw the Pickler. Let's switch it over. Let's switch it over to the art. That works. I appreciate your help. Of course. Of course. It was meant to be. Oh my gosh, Flamir, thank you. Hold on. I gotta write you down now again. Satisfying writing ASMR. I was joking the other day that maybe the content I need to get into is maybe I need to get into ASMR. Bro, cheerin', now everyone can use the animated emotes. Can't wait for Pickle Rick Tentacool. Don't call him that. Alright, let's get a folder here so I can put Miss Ducky in the folder. Why is it hello? What is happening? Okay, I guess it's normal now. Weird. Oh my gosh, Fish and Chippy! Oh my god, you guys are having a competition? Holy shit! Thank you so much. Me when I get you? What is going on? This is awesome. Battle of the Century. War. Who will win? Bidding war commence. I mean, what are we bidding on? Wait, why did I pick up my controller? I got so excited that I forgot what I was supposed to be doing with my hands. I was literally just like, again? Wait, Toasty Chai is playing too. Thank you, guys. Guys, our sub goal was to make the Pokemon box for all of the captures that we got in the game. So, I mean, I guess we can do that. Would you guys like to do that for the rest of the stream since we got to where we needed to go? Like, since we did Morty, do you want to make the Pokemon box for stream? Or do you want to keep going and exploring? And I can do the Pokemon box next week. Sub goal met, that's crazy. Here, that I can do as a poll. That I can do as a poll so that we have rest of stream. I spelled that so bad. Pokemon box. Or keep exploring. There we go. But basically, this way, we have somewhere to put all of the Pokemon that have fainted, or all of the Pokemon that we've caught, so that people can see the artwork of the Pokemon that aren't on the team currently. It might be a little easier to, like, copy-paste them from there and bring them over instead of having to, like... Oh my god. Tentacool! Your little head jewel is giving me such a hard time. Having to draw Tentacle from memory is something I never thought I'd do, because I've never even just drawn Tentacle regularly before. I feel like I'm not doing a bad job from memory, though. I mean, I did just see it. They animate the rest of the mons in the box? Yeah. Yeah, all of the Pokemon in the box are also animated. That sounds cute. My stream is way behind, huh? It's actually perfect so far. I'm actually... That's nice to know. I know she's got little eyes that, like, go beneath. And I know it's only got 2 tentacles, and I know this because of the Pokemon episode where it, like, sits on Meowth's head. I always remember that. That scared me a lot when I was a little kid. I don't know why. Like, the brain control part of that episode scared me. Doesn't it have, like, kind of, like, ridges here, too? And this is, like, the gem shine. She has little legs. Guys, I forgot green onions are still onions. My eyes. Guys, do onions make your eyes water? It's something that I've never experienced before. And I know people talk about it, but I eat onions like no problem. I cut onions like no problem. Subcool met, we're having pickled tentacle tonight. Oh wow, a lot of people want to see the Pokemon box. Well, I was gonna say, honey, I know they make your eyes water because I've seen it happen. Which I still think is cute. Sorry. I like my guys a little pathetic. Never? Yeah, no, never. I've never had that happen. I don't have the, like, cilantro soap gene people talk about. I just think cilantro tastes yummy. What if we made her look like an S? Check this out. Draws cool S in your sketchbook. You know what I'm talking about? The one that's, like, that everyone thought was, like, the coolest thing ever. Wait, I think I've already fucked it up. I totally fucked it up. I don't know what I'm doing. Wait, I think it's like this. It's like... I think? Did anyone in, like, their middle schools freak out about being able to draw this? This is kind of what it looks like. The cool S. Nobody ever taught me how to do that. I don't know how to do it either. I just remember people freaking it. I would see, like, yeah, I draw, and then I'd draw a Pokemon, and people like, I can draw too. And then they would draw that, and I'd be like, how the fuck are you doing that? They only make your eyes water if you leave your onions out, but if you put onions in your fridge, they don't make your eyes water? Really? I didn't realize that was the difference. I love her little legs. So if we made, like, her legs, like, slap around. Like, that's, like, her animation is her legs are just flailing. And they could go really fast. Wait, I actually like this idea. Hold on. Let me cook. And they'll be, like, in a different position each frame. You'll have room for onions in the fridge? Yeah, our fridge is really small. We keep onions and potatoes in a basket in, like, the little cabinet that's our pantry, essentially. Cool S was our god. It was that in, like, those little fortune tellers. Did anyone do the ones, the fuck-ass, like, fortune tellers that look like this? I always thought they looked like a creature. And they were, like, paper folds, and, like, you kind of put them on your fingers and, like, you would unfold them. Did anyone do those? I used to make those all the time. My god, okay, this is a confession, right? When I was younger, I made one of those, and I was doing them for everyone in my class, but they were like a love fortune. Like, I was like, who will you find love? and the guy that I liked was like, can you do me? And so I hastily made one that all of the results made it sound like true love was right in front of you. Like, the person you love, the person you'll end up with is standing right near you right now. And I made him do that one, but I think he like caught on because everyone else was getting different answers. And then he like asked me like, "Do you have more than one?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. That was just your fortune." Reagan moment. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say it. Don't speak it. Cringe failed childhood. I don't think I made it onto the names list. Oh wait, Toasty Chai. I have you written down here. Hold on, we can fix that up. Toasty Chai was one of the people that gifted subs, so we gotta make sure we have them down. Children are so fucking funny. I was constantly on that. I was constantly trying to, what's the word? Trying to riz people up. I was like, and it was not even like just anyone, but I would have a crush on someone like once a week. It was pretty bad. I was like turbo bisexual as a child. No one could stop me. And the thing is, and the way that I knew this too, is my mom. Like, this is not true, motherfucker. Who you're gonna marry? Well, do you think you could, you know where in the list they should be? They were the person that gifted after Flamir. You're literally Mabel. That's why I love her. They could never make me hate you, Mabel. This is gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for this one to be done. I'm excited for this one to be in the box. What's the word? Riz people up. I literally just forgot the word. Listen. I forgore. The forgetter. Why do people hate Mabel? Because she's a 12-year-old girl. Like, I really don't know how else to say it. People are like, she's so annoying. She gets whatever she wants. She never faces repercussions. And I'm just like sitting here like, okay, first of all, Dipper is the main character. So we see the repercussions he faces because he's our narrative bias. And second of all, they're fucking 12, dude. They're 12-year-olds. She shouldn't have to face repercussions for, like, what? Having things that she wants being a little annoying sometimes? And also, Dipper loves her. Like, that's the difference, is, like, people are, like, wanting Dipper to get his way all the time, but, like, Dipper doesn't even want that. He wants his sister to be happy. People are just weird. People are weird, and they hate Mabel because she's a queen, and they hate to see a queen winning. Mabel's so selfish. Dipper nearly started a zombie apocalypse. Was the thing, they're both selfish. Again, they're children. They literally are children and they're tweens. There is no stage of life where you are more, like, not good at making decisions than being a tween, because you are functioning off of the highest levels of shame and the lowest levels of life experience and, like, actually having rational things to, like, base your decisions on. And you still don't deserve to be punished for that. You're just a baby. You don't know any better. I don't know. I get really mad when people are, like, mean to... She's voguing. Sorry, I just realized that Pickler is voguing in this. Mabel's literally a tween. The entire point is being cringe and failing. Exactly. Should offer to tell Fortune, do the actions, call them whatever insult came out, and would sprint away cackling. You are so selfish, die. I am literally 12 years old. I think I'm oomps with the person that made that comic, actually. Like, I literally think I am oomps with the person that made that comic. Life is so beautiful when you don't hate children characters for being children. Can I be so honest? Can I confess something? That is the thing that scares me the most about Laika's getting a fandom, is I'm scared that people will hate Mars for acting like a traumatized child, even though they're a traumatized child. Like, I'm genuinely afraid. I'm not ready for people being like, Mars is so annoying, why aren't they just getting better? And it's like, well, you see, because when you go through something traumatic, it manifests sometimes, and sometimes it manifests slower. It's not right away. Important question. If you were to make a deal with Bill Cipher, what would be the deal? Nothing. I would not make a deal with Bill Cipher. I don't make deals with demons anymore. I learned my lesson. Alright. Sometimes you're literally 3 apples tall. Alex once said something to the degree of, it's Mabel's job to knock Dipper down a peg and remind him that they're kids and not take himself so seriously. What did I miss? Are people hating on children again? Not much anymore. I feel like most people have, like, realized that Mabel hate is kind of goofy. But, like, I genuinely, on the internet growing up, people hated Mabel so fucking much. And I was like, hello? Imagine being me, 12-year-old Gravity Falls fan, seeing people hate Mabel when you are literally a 12-year-old that acts like Mabel. And it's like, what is happening? She's voguing. When I saw the Leica GIF sign, I was blown away because I remember back when Leica's comet was a dot on the horizon, now it's real. I know. That's the most exciting part. Wait, don't you have a forehead jewel too? Hold on. I really don't remember, but we're gonna put it there anyway. Let's go put it there, because it doesn't move. Literally throwing hands. She's voguing! I imagine it making a wet slapping sound. She's slaying. Tens across the board. Slay, girl! Alright, wait, we gotta make it like this color. See, children are poorly equipped to deal with anything maturely without guidance, let alone trauma. It's quite simple. It really is. It is genuinely... Like, maybe it is for me because, one, I was a traumatized child, so I know my thought process back then, and I know it wasn't, like, I don't know. I think when people, write kids, and also, like, when they interact with kids, they forget that, like, just because their actions might not make sense to us as adults with the experiences we have now, it doesn't mean that they're completely senseless. Like, they usually have a thought process, even if it's a flawed one. And, like, yeah, sometimes kids act impulsively, but fucking adults act impulsively, too. But if you ever see a kid do something that's, like, dangerous and, like, not know why, it's usually good to ask them, like, hey, why did you do that? Because they'll have an answer, and then you can explain why they shouldn't do that, but also understand them a little bit better. I wish it was better dealing with children. I'm better at understanding them now, but I'm still a fish out of the water. I mean, that's understandable. I didn't expect to become a parent at this age, and, like, I kind of got thrown into that. So you learn as you go, and I think that there's never anything wrong in saying I don't know. But that's why I think that, like, raising kids is definitely a communal effort, because it's impossible for one person to know everything and have the answers to everything. It's good to have other people to defer to. Also, Mabel didn't do anything worse than any of the other characters. Ford literally unleashed a demon because he wanted to feel smart. Stan steals money from people. Dipper forces Mabel into danger because he likes being right. I mean, exactly. They're all flawed. That's literally... The only difference is that Mabel is a girl, and she's 12, which apparently is a death sentence in a fandom. If from what I've experienced, at least. Unfortunately. Wait, you're a parent? I am. Long story short, it's a Spencer iCarly situation. My boyfriend and I's kid is his little brother, who got orphaned about a little before this time last year. And so I'm his parent, along with my boyfriend. And we love him very much. And he's a knucklehead. Ford also dated said demon. I believe this. You could tell me that's canon. Being a girl is a sin in most fandoms, unfortunately. It literally is. That is another post that I almost turned the reblogs off of, but then I manned up about it. I was literally like, the way that people treat girls in fandoms are like, it literally like drives me insane. And I was getting people genuinely saying, sorry, I can't be interested in women because I'm not attracted to them. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't know how to tell you this, but you need to be nice to people that you don't want to do anything with too. Unfortunately, like, not even unfortunately, I don't even know why it's unfortunate I have to say that, but it is something that I had to be like, I'm sorry. Gay misogyny strikes again. It's the thing is, it's not even always gay misogyny. There were women that were like saying, I'm not attracted to women because I'm straight, so I don't care about them. And I was just like, But you are a woman? Hello? Adults when a traumatized child is acting in a way consistent with their trauma and brain development. Wow, this child is being malicious and annoying on purpose. Real. Anyway, yeah, that's my complaining, my whining for tonight. But that kind of stuff just drives me up a wall. I'm saying this again as formerly mentioned, a turbo bisexual. I literally have had crushes on so many different people my entire life. But at the end of the day, I also respect them as human beings. And like, I don't know, I don't need to be attracted to someone to find them interesting or want to know what their story's about. Also, weird to say because, and this is, you know, the subject was not Gravity Falls, but it is a little weird for you to say you're not interested in girl characters because you're not attracted to girl characters if the guy characters you're talking about are like children. Like Dipper is a child, that is a 12-year-old. That's a little weird. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Also, hi Dylan Active. To make a new layer for the tentacles because they're thrashing around. My god, there's so many layers. I don't get people who can't be interested in characters they aren't into. Like, I don't get that feeling about any characters. I mean, I am happy for that sake. Here's the thing. I'm not that way about characters because I can like characters regardless of whether or not I'm interested in them, but I've absolutely had crushes on fictional characters before. I'd be a fucking liar if I said not that was not the case. I would be lying through my teeth. I once had a crush on a fictional character so bad that when they died in the show, I cried so hard and I threw a pillow and it broke a picture frame. And I had to try to cover it up and pretend I had just run into the wall because I was too embarrassed to explain what had actually happened. And the worst part about it, my family had invited our priest over, like the priest from our church, because they were trying to get our family more involved in like the church community or something like that. So while he was over, I was in the other room screaming, crying, literally about to throw up because Tobway from Wolf's Rain died. The other thing that I did that happened that same day is they got the priest a cheesecake as a gift that they were going to serve, and my sisters and I ate the entire cheesecake not knowing this with our bare hands. Like, not even with utensils, we just shoveled it with our hands and fingers. And we didn't finish it. We put it back into the fridge that way. So when my mom went to pull out the cheesecake, she had to stop for a second because it was just mangled. It was pretty bad. I don't think we were bad kids because we were just children, and we also weren't really communicative with, like, no one told us this was going to happen. So we just, we just got home and it was like, well, there's cake at home, and got excited and ate it. But I would say if that happened now as an adult, I'd be pretty upset, I would say. Sweets deprivation does things to you. Yeah, that was the other thing, is we were never allowed to have desserts. Sorry, we were only allowed to have dessert once a month, so our dad would bring us home dessert once a month, and so we thought that was our dessert. That is needed context, because it wasn't just we randomly ate something like wild animals for no reason. Like, we genuinely only got dessert once a month because my mom didn't let us have sugar, so whenever we got it, we did act kind of ravenous about it. Yeah, once a month. Once a month is insane. You're deprived of sugar and we're offered a functionally unlimited sugar bounty waiting for you. We were, and it was like it was on a Friday night after school, so we were all like excited to have dessert together. We literally were eating cheesecake with our bare hands and watching Wolf's Rain anime. Children are evil in the most hilarious way. Like, they can be annoying, but I just can't get mad at them because it's always funny. Exactly. Oh my god, it's like when I was babysitting when I was younger, I say younger, but I was like 18 at the time. Hey guys, is stream looping for anyone else, or am I under a curse? Wait, Flamir, are you stuck? You're cursed. You and the mouth-washing capitalism cake once a month. Not sure if we're still ranting, but I want to say thankfully my Blurbo hasn't got much hate, because could be because the fandom is small, but like somebody said they couldn't get themselves to like her and she was the manic pixie dream girl trope or something. There's also some YouTubers that were horrible to all the female characters in my favorite game, at least the ones that weren't nice to the male player. Hello? I'll go crazy. Sorry, that shit drives me so insane. I am not... You're too nice, because if someone was mean to all of the girl characters that were not nice to the guy, just to the guy protagonist, there would be blood. I would start killing. Alright, let's see. How do I make this look like a Pokemon box? I think I need to go back to the game just so that I can see what the Pokemon boxes look like, and then try to draw something that looks similar. Willow coming home, sopping wet and chlorinated, watching their sister eat their only dessert in 30 days. Yeah, that was the lore. The meanest and angriest I ever got was when my little sister ate my donuts that were our monthly dessert while I was at a 4-hour swim practice, and I came back and they were all gone. And my family, and that was when I was like, I want to say I was 12. My family to this day, so 14 years later, they still bring up that story that I was so mad about the donuts being gone. And I'm just sitting here like, you would be pissed too if you had no freedom over the food that you ate and you... No, get off the computer. No kitty. I used to ask to break people's fingers when I was little. I would have actually ripped my brother to shreds if he did that to me. And the thing is, I love my sisters. Like, I genuinely do love them. You only get dessert that often. You get, like, evil about it. Alright, so it looks like there's, like... I'm gonna screenshot this, actually. It'll be easier if I do that. It's like... No? There we go. Harbor. Stop being bad. He's being so bad right now. I don't know why. Alright, now I can switch back over to the drawing screen. We're getting a little violent here, just saying. Actually, that's true. Sorry. Important updates to the rules that happened. And fortunately, because I know talking about stuff that we did as kids is really funny, but Twitch has been cracking down on their violent speech in their terms of service recently. So we do just have to be careful, because if we are not, then it is possible that the stream, someone could report the stream. So that was the update to the rules that we had recently. No one's done anything wrong though. I just wanted to maybe topic change so that we don't get in troubles. No worries though. Like I said, no, it was no one specific. We were all talking. I mean, I literally talked about breaking a picture frame, so I understand. Alright, so I feel like if we do this kind of green... Yeah. Kind of like this. And then we have the shadow color. Keep drinking ponzu sauce? Also, hi Gummy, welcome in. We're chillin'. We are chilling. No, I appreciate it, baby. Thank you. Also, Farce, you can come sit in here with me if you want. I am just drawing now. What is the audio just the background music of the Pokemon Center? I can change it to being music if you guys want, since we're drawing. What music do you guys... What are we feeling? I could do water noises. I could do water noises, or I could do video game music. No, this is good? Okay. It is pretty calming. Mod, scruff him. Notice Critter is hovering above in the top left and must declare that your old cat Sona incited something gender fluid within me. Yes, I feel like a lot of people have experienced gender euphoria from my beast, which makes me very happy. I'm glad to have been able to provide. I'm like a gender dealer. Alright, so there's these little grass tufts that go throughout the screen. So I'm gonna do that. I like the water noises. I could do water noises. Here. Let me save... Let me save the game in Melon DS. And then I can pull up water noises. Because putting the box into the Pokemon scene should not be too hard. What are we drawing now? So we hit sub goal while you were away, Gummy. We hit the sub goal, and or at least we did hit the sub goal. I don't know if it didn't update for me. But we hit 200 subs, and so I'm doing the Pokemon box for that. Although it's saying it's 199. I don't know if maybe one of them didn't go through. Hold on. Well, I'll do it anyway. Who care? Who give a shit? We definitely did hit it. I wonder if someone's sub expired like right after that happened, or if someone's sub got stolen. Because it's only saying 199 now, which is kind of funny. But everyone was so sweet. I just want to do it anyway. Oh wait, Fish and Chippy, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. I was gonna say, because we did hit it, so I wanted to honor that. I was gonna say, I wonder what happened. Also, I saw my boyfriend say make a creature. I don't know what the context was, but I agree. Everyone should make creatures for themselves now. Alright, let's save state. There we go. Now we can go back to drawing the box. That was so sweet. I appreciate it. Seriously, thank you, Fish and Chippy. Oh my gosh, Toasty Chai, thank you. The war continues? Is this the continuation of the sub-war? Same brain. You guys had the same idea. I was gonna say, thank you so much. This reminded me I have to do the hype train animation. Because I have like ideas for it. But the graphics I keep making, I just don't really like how they look. So I have to perfect it. Also, I think I'm gonna go a nice simple design for the box. So that it's something that we can pull up, like over top of the scene almost. Oh my gosh, the little guy! Thank you. Thank you, Fish and Chippy, for the on-screen celebration. And thank you to my boyfriend for the pride cheer. Conductor critter. Let's see, if I do like... This needs to be smaller, though. Smaller. Get smalled, idiot. Sorry, I haven't kept up. What were the two deaths in the Artlocke? Franz, our Heracross died, and then thank you again, Fish and Chippy. But yeah, Friends are Heracross, and then Eradicate Velvet died. I was very sad. Alright, let's see. Maybe like this? I feel like that'll look good when it's... Yeah, that looks nice. Alright, let's see how it looks. So that'll go in stream backgrounds, and this will be box. And then let's play around in the Pokemon layout and see how this looks. Because then we could just put all our Pokemon there. Oh, thank you for the Ash Baby on-screen celebration. Thank you, Deadly Clout. The guy. Okay. That's where it is. Oop, I think I put it in Pokemon Sprites and I didn't mean to. Okay, there we go. I just needed to make a new layer. Ash Baby. It's been very nice watching this as I crochet. Your vibes are immaculate and very chill for the sweatshirt making. Thank you. Why are we... Wait, why did you... What the fuck to the Ash baby? Whatever, go my Ash baby. Alright, let's see. Grab box. Here it is. Yippee! Oh no. Covering me. There we go. I guess level cap can go underneath this too. Yeah, it's perfect. Now it's like it's not even there. Ooh, I hope I grabbed the right thing. Make the DS group go away too. You can still see the feet of the little guys at the bottom, which I think is funny. Alright, this isn't so bad. But now we can put all the guys in. Oh? Why are we spamming this thing? I'm participating because I'm susceptible to mob influence, but why? Oh, Lionless Art, thank you for the sub! Thank you so much! That's awesome! I'm glad we hit sub goal tonight and 2 hype trains. This train is so hype, why not? Level 2? So dusty with all this ash. We're gonna need to sweep the floor. Alright, let's start adding some bad boys into this folder. I want to get all of the Pokemon up in here. So currently the Pokemon that we have boxed, we have Daikon is boxed, so we can put him in here. They don't really need to be like proper like a Pokemon box either. They can literally just be all over. We can make a picture. More Ash. Icon. He's just a cutie. Bobbin is in here. Oh my god, she's huge. Why was she so big? I actually kind of like it if they're just put all over the place, but we could do it proper. Like, we don't have to yuck it up. A story and emotes arrive. Fire. Shock. Ash baby. This is a fantastic thing to join stream to. Yeah. It's okay to be big. This is true. We'd never shame for this. Cash Money is also in there. We will at some point have to make a dead box too. I'll put Cash Money down here. What if I made them like a rainbow? Big Ash baby. Almost entirely blank screen except for Oddish in the corner. Alright, who else? Free Ren is boxed. Put Free Ren down here with Cash Money. They're dancing. Whenever I do Nuzlocke, I always use boxing as a threat to my team. Like, if you miss this, you're getting boxed. Weezer. Oh, right. I thought you were saying Weezer. I was like, why are we saying Weezer? Now I understand. Alright, let's put Weezer in here. Ooh, look just like Buddy Holly. We can put Weezer like at the corner of the box. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Weezer because of the Ash baby. Harry, my friend Harry. Alright, let's get Harry in here. This is like their sanctuary. This is just, I know this is so enriching for them. Yo, Weezer number 3 is wearing the lesbian jacket. She is. That's because Weezer's a Nidoran. And I've known... I think I just heard myself cough in the background. Forest jump scare? Alright, let's see who else. Goku. We have Goku. Big Neon! Thank you, Deadly Clout. Yeah, we totally heard the cough. I guess Goku should be a little bigger. Goku's cute. I think Goku is cute. Hey, it's me, Goku! Honora is in there too. So many Pokemon. Forgot how many Pokemon we've caught on our journey. Can you change their sizes so they're to scale? I think that the screen would look scary. Rejoined at the perfect moment because I wanted to know who you've gotten so far. Yeah! Also, thank you for the bits, Fish and Chippy. The Ditto is so cash money. Funny enough, that's his name. We got Laurent. Laurent is one of our earliest captures. She's still going strong. She's still okay. Chilling with Weezer. Just trying to take my meds. You're so bad. You're so... Farish can't swallow pills. He, like, has to chug water to do it, and I feel so bad. It seems painful. I love her. She's hanging out with Lemon. Laurent and Lemon, they're buddies. I miss her. Dr. Laurent, doing your lawyer in the court arc. Thank you so much, guys, for the hype train, too. Moe Wings when she evolved, but I put her in the box. I evolved her to give her toast, but honestly, I kind of want to use Ducky instead. The flying type Polycule. Or I guess the flying Polycule says, I don't think that Beedrill is a flying type. I think it's a poison bug type now that I think about it. Farce is having a curly moment? Please. Please. The Pickler, who has recently joined the party. Who's voguing? We miss you, Moe Wings. Don't worry, she's okay. Isn't Farfetch'd super mid? Maybe it is, but I honestly don't care because I love it. I will make it work. Polar. Polar's definitely like one of the cutest sprites, I think. Just such a good... I'm gonna move you down here. I'm putting my favorites. These are like my favorite ones I've done. Polar's such a cutie. Like, I don't want anything to happen to Apollo, but like, if we have to use Polar, I won't be too bummed out because I do like him. Forgot how cute Polar was. It just has such a sweet energy to him. Alright, I think we have Pokeball too. Pokeball's huge. Why are you giant? All the bugs hanging out in the bug corner. Is Polar 3 frames? Polar's actually 4 frames. Polar's 4 frames, Tentacool, the Pickler, is 4 frames. Most of them are 2, with the exception of a few that are 3 or 4. I don't think I've ever done more than that. I think Daikon might be 6 frames, just because I went crazy, because I thought it was funny. But it may only be 4. And then we have Penne Pasta. The Pickler. Oh, I thank you for the posture check, too. Pickle being so much faster than anyone else in the box is hysterical. I actually think the Pickler's dance is closer to whacking over voguing, which is more focused and primarily complex and quicker hand movements. I mean, that is cool to know. Thank you, Deadly Cloud. I didn't know that there was such a thing. I know you use the actually emote, but I'm interested. Alright, and then we have Pitchfork, who will never evolve and will stay in the box forever. She's so funny. Why you, girl, you're so mad. So Magin for what? Does this gen get Magnezone? It does, but not until you get to Kanto. So it would just be Magneton until we get to Kanto. I don't think we're missing anyone. Oh wait, we are. We were missing Granite. How could we forget our favorite Stone Butch? There she is. The whole family's here. Imagine how full this box is gonna look when we start progressing into the new regions. Our Stone Butch. God, I love Granite. She's so cute. Pitchfork is just Bart Simpson. What happened to Dimple? Don't worry, Dimple's on the team. Hold on. Let's put these all in a folder so that it's a little easier to see. Because we can go back to the team. There we go. And then look, you can go to... Oh my god, wait, no, I went in the box. Let me out of here! Let me out! Let me out! Scary. I'm not a Pokemon. I don't belong in there. There we go. God, I got scared. And there we go. Willow got box. I literally got box yet, but don't worry. Dimple's okay. We got Sisyphus, the Umbreon. I think Sisyphus actually looks great. I think that sprite looks really cool. We got Ducky off stream. Michael, don't leave me here. Michael. Also, it was a little bit of a shorter stream, but I'm actually content going to bed now that we don't have any deaths and we got everybody in the box. Capwood Color said, I'm going to leave stream for the night. It was nice to see everybody. No worries. I was actually going to say, this might be where we end, too. Let me switch over to the... I could just go to a chatting screen. I wanted to say thank you to everyone for coming, and thank you for how sweet everybody was tonight. I was really scared for this fight, admittedly. And after losing 2 Pokemon last stream, it was pretty sad, but, you know... I think it was a well-planned out fight, so it went pretty well. And I'm excited for the rest of the Nuzlocke now. It was so much fun. Thank you. Tomorrow night is the art crit, so if you guys wanted to submit for the art crit, I will post the link once more to my Tumblr. So if you want to tune in tomorrow, that will be happening. And then Friday, we're playing Blood Wash, which is a puppet combo game. I'm really excited for it. It's I know a little bit about it. I think it's fun. Your appeal to get the emote name changed worked? It did, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to switch over to the ending soon screen, and if anyone wants to stick around, I may look for someone to raid. There's a few different Oofies that are streaming right now. Oh, you know what? The Hopes is streaming. Let's go raid the Hopes. Hold on. Everyone be nice to them. The Hopes is the person that runs the Leica's fan Discord, along with a few other mods, so please go show them your support. They're sweetie. Let's go surprise them and say hi. And ciao. Good night, guys.